Hi everyone, it's Miss Kinsey. Today's story is Empathy is My Superpower, a story about showing you care. Written by Brian Smith, illustrated by Lisa M. Griffin. Hey everyone, Amelia here. I'm a little tired right now. Last night I was trying to get my beauty sleep, not that I need much, when my crybaby brother started crying in his bedroom because his nightlight went out. Every little thing into the biggest problem in the world. Boo-hoo, I say. Aren't we supposed to be teaching kids to toughen up? Luckily, Mom came and replaced the light bulb. Then he finally calmed down. At breakfast, I thanked the big baby for keeping me up half the night. But I was scared of the dark, he whined. Dude, you need to be tougher than that. You're not 2 years old anymore. Stop, Mom shouted. Quit picking on your brother. You know, it wouldn't hurt you to show some empathy. Mom, I wasn't being mean. I was stating a fact. Kevin was acting like a baby. And besides, empathy isn't a real word. Amelia, you may think he was acting like a baby, but in his mind, he wasn't, Mom said. Kevin really was scared. Don't you know what empathy means? Not really, I said. It means you understand how others feel and you give them support. It really isn't hard to show a little empathy. Just show these simple steps. How to show empathy. Step 1. Think about how others may feel. Step 2. Come up with ways to show them you understand. Step 3. Offer any help or assistance you can. Let's try showing empathy now. How do you think Kevin felt when the nightlight went out? Who knows? He probably thought some huge monster was going to come and get him. He really might have. On a scale of 1 to 5, how scared do you think he was? Probably a 10, as loud as he cried. Yes, he was really scared. That doesn't mean you would be scared in that situation. Different people handle situations differently. What could you do to show him you care? That's when I pictured myself as Super E. Be right back, Mom. I have a key. I sprinted to my room, put my cape on, and then zoomed to the camping closet. Kevin always freaked out on camping trips when it got too dark, but he'd settle down and go to sleep if he had a flashlight. I tossed around all our camping gear until I found his favorite flashlight, and then I raced back to his room. Hey, Kev, I'm going to leave this by your bed in case the light goes out again. Just turn it on if you need some light. A curious smile crossed his face. Thanks, but who are you? I'm Super E, and the E stands for empathy. What's that? It basically means you let people know you care about them. And just like that, Mom and Kevin were happy. I decided to keep my cape on because today, Super E was going to spread caring and understanding at school. And as I walked the hallways, every kid looked at me like I was crazy. Too bad they don't understand empathy. And it didn't take long before Super E was called into action. I had just sat down for lunch when my friends, like usual, when I saw Priya eating by herself again. Priya always eats alone because no one wants to sit by someone who eats weird food all the time. As I watched her, I remembered what Mom had told me about empathy. Then I asked myself how Priya must feel sitting all alone. I bet she's lonely eating by herself every day, and that can't be fun. Super E needed to show Priya empathy. I sprang to my feet, then quickly took a seat next to Priya. She didn't really look at me until I asked if I could eat lunch with her. Is this a joke or something? Why would you want to do that? Because I don't like seeing you eat lunch by yourself, and I think you're cool, I said. Priya smiled. We started talking and had a good time. We actually had a lot in common, and I even found out the food she eats is made from recipes her grandparents brought from another country. How awesome is that? This empathy thing is really powerful. The next day in reading class, Kyla was really upset again. She always says things like, "Why can't I learn like everyone else? And this doesn't make sense." Her constant complaining was really annoying, so I shouted, "Just try harder." But then I remembered that whole empathy thing. Something really was bothering her. But what could I do to show her I cared? I decided to get some advice from my favorite teacher, Mr. Parker. He asked if I knew exactly what was bothering Kayla. All I could say was she was frustrated. Who knows why? Well, why not ask her yourself? He said. I marched over to Kayla and asked, "What's wrong?" Kayla turned to me and said the words on the page didn't look right, and she needed help reading the questions. "No problem," I said. "You just need your glasses. They must be around here somewhere." "It's not that. My eyes are fine. It's something in my brain. I have dyslexia." I learned people with dyslexia have a hard time reading words, and that's when I realized Kayla really had been trying her best the whole time. With Mr. Parker's permission, I read the questions and answers to Kayla. She smiled and sighed with relief because everything made more sense. I told her I was sorry it was hard for her to read, and I'd help her any time she needed it. Super E wasn't going to let someone struggle without offering to help. Things at school were going great until I saw John in the hallway. I couldn't warn him in time, and he stepped in a puddle by the water fountain. His feet flew in the air, and he fell with a thud. Everything crammed in his backpack scattered across the floor. Kids started laughing, and John was totally embarrassed. It was time for Super E. "Have no fear, Super E is here." I did a big old belly flop into the puddle and shouted, "Wow, that's refreshing." The hallway erupted in laughter as everyone pointed at me instead of John. We both got up, and then I helped him stuff everything back in his backpack. I even wiped up the floor. "Why did you do that?" John asked. "Now you're soaking wet." "Because Super E is all about empathy," I said. "I care about you and wanted to help you out." Another person saved by Super E. The next day, my stomach hurt really bad. Without warning, I threw up right in the middle of Mr. Parker's spelling lesson. Gross. Eventually, the nurse arrived with news that 2 superheroes had come to take me home. Totally confused, I asked, "Two? Who?" Just then, Mom and Dad came around the corner. They were wearing capes just like mine. "Oh, what are you doing?" "We're Mommy and Daddy, the superhero parents of Super E. We know feeling sick is awful, and we came here to show you how much we care." They had a big surprise waiting for me at home. They had made a cozy nest of blankets for me on the couch. There was a glass of soda and a box of crackers, too, in case I got hungry. Best of all, my favorite movie was ready to play on the TV. Even superheroes like me, Super E, can benefit from a little empathy. All right, everyone, be thinking about how you can use your Super E powers and help somebody who might be in need. It could be someone in your home, a little brother or sister, a big brother or sister. It could be a parent. It could be a grandma. It could be a cousin. It could be a neighbor. Anybody. Tons of people need help. So use your empathy and be a super E too. Bye, everyone.